Cleopatra. Her name evokes images of a powerful queen, a cunning strategist, and a woman who captivated the ancient world. But who was the real Cleopatra? Beyond the myths and Hollywood glamour lies a story of ambition, resilience, and brilliance. She wasn't just a seductress. She was a ruler who outwitted her enemies, forged alliances with Rome's most powerful men, and left a legacy that shaped history. How did she rise to power in a world dominated by men? What secrets did she use to hold her throne? And what really happened in her final dramatic moments? Join us as we uncover the untold story of Cleopatra, the queen, the leader, the legend, her secrets, her strategies, and her enduring impact on history. This is a tale of power, betrayal, and survival you won't want to miss. In this video, we'll take you step by step through the life of Cleopatra, revealing the secrets behind her power, strategies, and enduring legacy. Here's what you'll learn: the true origins of Cleopatra, including her Greek heritage and the meaning behind her name, her remarkable education and mastery of multiple languages, how she seized and maintained power through brilliant political strategy, her role as a mother, and her efforts to secure her children's futures, her relationships with Julius Caesar and Mark Antony, beyond the romance, her role as a military leader and cultural revolutionary, the truth about her legendary beauty and the myths surrounding her, the mystery of her dramatic final days, her lasting impact on history, and why she still fascinates us today. By the end of this video, you'll see Cleopatra not just as a queen, but as one of the most extraordinary figures in history. To understand Cleopatra's greatness, we need to go back to where it all began. Her childhood in the magnificent city of Alexandria. Imagine being born into a family where betrayal, murder, and power struggles were as common as royal feasts. This was Cleopatra's world. Cleopatra was born in 69 BC into the Ptolemaic dynasty, a family of Macedonian Greek origin that had ruled Egypt for nearly 300 years. Her name, Cleopatra, means glory of her father in Greek, reflecting her royal heritage. She grew up in Alexandria, one of the most advanced cities of the ancient world, surrounded by wealth, culture, and danger. Her education was exceptional. She studied philosophy, mathematics, and oratory, and she became fluent in 7 or 8 languages, including Egyptian, a rare skill for her Greek family. This ability to speak Egyptian allowed her to connect with her people in a way her predecessors never did. But her family life was far from peaceful. Her father, Ptolemy XII, was overthrown and later restored to power, and her older sister, Berenice IV, was executed for trying to seize the throne. Cleopatra grew up in a world where survival required intelligence, cunning, and the ability to outmaneuver your enemies. From an early age, Cleopatra learned that power wasn't given, it had to be taken. This lesson would shape her entire life and prepare her to become one of history's most formidable rulers. But how did Cleopatra rise above the chaos of her family's power struggles to become one of the most famous rulers in history? Let's find out. At just 17 years old, Cleopatra ascended to the throne of Egypt, but her path to power was anything but smooth. Cleopatra faced a choice: accept exile or fight for her throne. Her response would shock the ancient world. After her father's death, Cleopatra became co-ruler of Egypt with her younger brother, Ptolemy XIII, as was customary. But tensions quickly arose. Ptolemy's advisors wanted to sideline Cleopatra, accusing her of treason and forcing her into exile in Syria. Cleopatra didn't give up. While in exile, she raised an army to reclaim her throne. Around the same time, Julius Caesar arrived in Alexandria, pursuing his rival Pompey. Cleopatra saw an opportunity. In a legendary move, she had herself smuggled into Caesar's quarters, wrapped in a carpet, to plead her case directly to the most powerful man in Rome. Her intelligence, charm, and determination impressed Caesar, and he agreed to help her. Together, they defeated Ptolemy XIII's forces in the Battle of the Nile, and Cleopatra was restored as queen. But Cleopatra's alliance with Caesar wasn't just about reclaiming her throne. It was the beginning of a partnership that would change the course of history. What came next would cement her place as one of the most formidable rulers of the ancient world. Cleopatra wasn't just a queen. She was a master strategist who knew how to turn every situation to her advantage. Cleopatra's relationship with Julius Caesar was as much a political alliance as it was a personal one. Together, they had a son, Caesarion, whom Cleopatra hoped would one day unite Egypt and Rome. She traveled to Rome with Caesar, staying in his villa and presenting herself as a powerful and independent ruler. However, her presence in Rome was controversial. The Roman elite viewed her as a foreigner and a threat, and rumors swirled about her influence over Caesar. When Caesar was assassinated in 44 BC, Cleopatra returned to Egypt, knowing that her position was once again precarious. But Cleopatra was always thinking ahead. She aligned herself with Mark Antony, Caesar's former ally, using her charm and political acumen to secure his support. Their partnership was both romantic and strategic, as they sought to consolidate power in the Eastern Mediterranean. Did you know that Cleopatra's relationship with Mark Antony wasn't just about love? Together, they declared their children rulers of vast territories, creating a vision for an Eastern empire that rivaled Rome itself. But this bold vision would put Cleopatra and Antony on a collision course with Octavian, Caesar's heir. The stakes were higher than ever, and the outcome would determine the fate of Egypt. Before we dive deeper into Cleopatra's incredible strategies and her rise to power, take a moment to hit that subscribe button and like this video. And don't forget to share your thoughts in the comments. What do you think of Cleopatra's bold moves so far? Cleopatra wasn't just a queen and a strategist. She was also a mother who fought fiercely to secure her children's futures. Cleopatra had 4 children: Caesarion, her son with Julius Caesar, and 3 children with Mark Antony, twins Alexander Helios and Cleopatra Selene, and their youngest son, Ptolemy Philadelphus. Her firstborn, Caesarion, was central to her political ambitions. Cleopatra presented him as the legitimate heir to Julius Caesar, naming him Ptolemy 15 Caesar, and co-ruling Egypt with him in his later years. She hoped that Caesarion would one day unite Egypt and Rome, solidifying her dynasty's power. With Mark Antony, Cleopatra's children were also part of her grand vision for an Eastern empire. In 34 BC, during the famous Donations of Alexandria ceremony, Cleopatra and Antony declared their children rulers of various territories. Alexander Helios was named king of Armenia and Parthia. Cleopatra Selene was given Cyrenaica and Libya, and Ptolemy Philadelphus was named king of Phoenicia and Syria. Cleopatra herself was declared Queen of Kings, with her children as her co-rulers. Cleopatra's fight to secure her children's futures reminds us that even the most powerful figures in history were driven by love and family. Her story shows us that the role of a mother transcends time and culture. But Cleopatra's dreams for her children were shattered after the defeat at the Battle of Actium. When Octavian invaded Egypt, Caesarion was sent away to safety, but he was eventually captured and executed on Octavian's orders. Cleopatra's other children were taken to Rome and raised by Octavia, Mark Antony's Roman wife. Cleopatra's role as a mother reveals a deeply personal side to her ambition. She wasn't just fighting for her own survival. She was fighting for her children's futures and the continuation of her dynasty. Her love for her children and her efforts to secure their power show us a more human side of this legendary queen. While Cleopatra was a shrewd politician, she was also a patron of the arts and a champion of Egyptian culture. Under Cleopatra's reign, Alexandria experienced a cultural renaissance. She financed grand building projects, supported scholars and artists, and promoted the fusion of Egyptian and Greek traditions. She embraced her role as a living goddess, associating herself with Isis and Aphrodite to strengthen her authority. Cleopatra's court was a place of opulence and intellectual exchange. She hosted lavish banquets and surrounded herself with the brightest minds of her time. Her ability to blend Egyptian and Greek culture made her a unifying figure in a divided world. There are also legends about Cleopatra's luxurious lifestyle, including the famous story that she bathed in milk to preserve her beauty. While this is a popular myth, there is no historical evidence to support it. What is certain is that Cleopatra's charisma and intelligence were her most powerful tools, far more than any physical beauty. Cleopatra's cultural contributions ensured that her legacy would endure, not just as a ruler, but as a symbol of the richness and complexity of ancient Egypt. Cleopatra wasn't just a queen of culture, she was a queen of strategy, leading armies and commanding respect on the battlefield. Cleopatra's military leadership was most evident during her alliance with Mark Antony. Together, they sought to challenge Octavian, Caesar's heir, for control of the Roman world. The conflict culminated in the Battle of Actium in 31 BC, a massive naval battle off the coast of Greece. Despite their efforts, Antony and Cleopatra were defeated. Cleopatra returned to Egypt, where she began preparing for the inevitable confrontation with Octavian. Though the battle was lost, Cleopatra's determination to fight for her kingdom showed her resilience and courage as a leader. Cleopatra's personal life was as complex as her political maneuvers, filled with love, betrayal, and ambition. Cleopatra's relationships with Julius Caesar and Mark Antony were not just romantic, they were deeply tied to her political goals. With Caesar, she sought to secure her power and her son's future. With Antony, she found a partner who shared her vision for a powerful Eastern empire. However, these relationships also brought challenges. Antony's marriage to Octavia, Octavian's sister, created a rift that would lead to war. Cleopatra's loyalty to Antony and her desire to maintain her power in Egypt put her at odds with Rome. Cleopatra's personal relationships were a double-edged sword, giving her strength but also making her vulnerable. They reveal her as a complex and ambitious leader. Cleopatra's final days were a testament to her strength and resolve, even in the face of overwhelming odds. As Octavian's forces closed in, Cleopatra refused to surrender. She tried to negotiate with Octavian, but she knew her fate was sealed. Rather than be paraded through Rome as a prisoner, she chose to end her life on her own terms. The exact details of her death remain a mystery. Some say she was bitten by an asp, while others believe she used poison. What is certain is that Cleopatra died as she lived, with dignity and defiance. Cleopatra's death marked the end of the Ptolemaic dynasty and the beginning of Roman rule in Egypt, but her legacy would live on. Cleopatra's story didn't end with her death. It became a legend that has captivated the world for centuries. Cleopatra's life has been romanticized in art, literature, and film. From Shakespeare's plays to Hollywood movies, she has been portrayed as a seductress, a tragic heroine, and a symbol of power. But the real Cleopatra was far more complex, a ruler who combined intelligence, strategy, and cultural vision to leave a lasting mark on history. Her race and ancestry have also been debated. While Cleopatra was of Macedonian Greek descent, some scholars speculate that her family may have had Egyptian or other ancestry. Regardless, Cleopatra embraced Egyptian culture and presented herself as a true pharaoh. Cleopatra's legacy is a reminder of the power of resilience, intelligence, and ambition. She was more than a queen. She was a force of nature. Even today, Cleopatra's influence can be seen in culture, politics, and feminism. Cleopatra has become a symbol of female empowerment and resilience. Her story inspires countless works of art, literature, and film, reflecting the ongoing fascination with her life. In modern discussions about leadership and gender, Cleopatra is often cited as an example of a woman who wielded power in a male-dominated world. Her ability to navigate complex political landscapes resonates with leaders today, and her legacy continues to inspire discussions about the role of women in history. Cleopatra's story transcends time, reminding us that women have always played crucial roles in shaping history. We've journeyed through the remarkable life of Cleopatra, discovering a woman who was far more than the myths suggest. She was a brilliant strategist who spoke 7 languages, a cultural revolutionary who transformed Alexandria, a military leader who commanded armies and navies, a mother who fought to secure her children's futures, a queen who fought to preserve Egypt's independence. Her story teaches us that true power comes not just from authority, but from intelligence, adaptability, and determination. Cleopatra's legacy reminds us that history's greatest leaders are often those who dare to defy expectations and forge their own path. Now that we've uncovered the secrets behind Cleopatra's power and betrayal, there's another side to ancient Egypt that remains shrouded in mystery, hidden secrets buried beneath the sands, waiting to be revealed. Click the video on your screen now to explore the unsolved mysteries of ancient Egypt and discover the enigmas that still baffle historians today. Don't miss it.